Lesson 13. One good turn deserves another. Read the passage given below and answer the questions that follow. When Huey entered his friend Trevor's studio, he found Trevor painting an old beggar in rags. Sometime later, Trevor went out to speak to the frame maker. The beggar took advantage of Trevor's absence to rest for a moment on a wooden bench behind him. He looked so miserable that Huey could not help pitying him and felt in his pocket for some change. All he could find was a sovereign. Although he himself was badly in need, he felt the beggar's need was greater than his own. He walked across and slipped the sovereign into the beggar's hand. The old man started, and a faint smile flitted across his withered lips. "Thank you," he said. "Thank you." Then Trevor arrived and Huey took leave of him, slightly embarrassed at what he had done. Later in the evening, the two friends met again at the Palette Club. Huey asked Trevor if the painting was done. Trevor said that it had even been framed and then went on to add how the old beggar model had become a big fan of Huey. He wanted to know all about Huey and Trevor had obliged him. When Trevor added that he had even told the beggar about Laura, Huey's fiancée, and the £10,000 that her father had asked him to have ready if he wanted to marry Laura, Huey became furious. "How dare you tell the old beggar all my private matters?" cried Huey. "My dear boy," said Trevor smiling, "that old beggar, as you call him, is one of the richest men in Europe. He could buy all of London tomorrow." "What on earth do you mean?" exclaimed Huey. "The old man you saw today is Baron Hausberg, a friend of mine, who buys all my pictures. It was his wish that I should paint him in a beggar's rags," answered Trevor, laughing. "Good heavens! I gave him a sovereign," said Huey and sank into a chair, dismayed. Soon thereafter, with a heart as heavy as lead, Huey walked back home. The money he had, and which he could have used to hire a carriage, he had already given away to the beggar. The next day, an old gentleman visited Huey with an envelope from Baron Hausberg. It had a check for £10,000 in it. On the outside was written, "A wedding present for Huey Erskine and Laura Merton from an old beggar." When Huey and Laura got married, the Baron made a speech at the wedding breakfast. But Trevor, as the best man, had the last word. Millionaire models are rare enough, but model millionaires are rarer still. Based on A Model Millionaire by Oscar Wilde. A. Use the following words from the passage to make sentences of your own. Make sure that you bring out the same meaning of these words which they have in the text. Miserable. The old house was in a miserable condition due to lack of care and maintenance. Furious. The boy became furious when he was wrongly penalized. Started. He started when he was woken up from deep slumber. Dismayed. The teacher was dismayed to learn that only 5 students passed the test. Obliged. I asked for more bread and soup, and the host happily obliged. Rare. It is rare to find people in this part of the city. B. Find the antonyms of the following expressions in the passage. Excited, entered. Delighted, dismayed. Light as a feather, heavy as lead. Frown, smile. Public, private. C. Given below are a few lines from the passage. Fill in the blanks with suitable synonyms of the words given in brackets. The old man dash. Started, answer. Startled, and a faint smile flitted across his dash. Withered, answer. Dried up, lips. Thank you, sir, he said. Thank you. Then Trevor arrived and Huey took his leave, slightly embarrassed, answer, flustered, at what he had done. Later in the evening, the two friends met again at the Palette Club. Huey asked Trevor if the painting was done. Answer, finished. Trevor said that it had even been framed and then went on to add how the old beggar model had become a big fan. Answer, admirer of Huey. D. On the basis of your reading, answer the following questions in your own words. 1. Why couldn't the beggar rest while Trevor was in the room? Answer. The beggar was modeling for a portrait, so he could not move while Trevor was making his painting. 2. What prevented Huey from marrying Laura Merton? Answer. Huey did not have the £10,000, which Laura's father had asked him to have if he wanted to marry the girl. 3. Why did Huey give away the only sovereign he had to the beggar model? Answer. Huey felt great pity for the beggar because the latter looked quite miserable. 4. Does this story communicate a message to the reader? Answer. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Be kind to others. E. Identify the pronouns in the sentences below and mention the noun for which they stand. 1. He looked so miserable that Huey could not help pitying him and felt in his pocket for some change. Answer. Pronoun, he, noun, the beggar, pronoun, him, noun, the beggar, pronoun, his, noun, Huey. 2. It was his wish that I should paint him in a beggar's rags. Answer. Pronoun, I, noun, 3. It had a check for £10,000 in it. Answer. Pronoun, it, noun, the envelope. 4. How dare you tell the old beggar all my private matters? Cried Huey. Answer. Pronoun, you, noun, Trevor. F. Underline all the verbs in the following sentences. 1. When Huey entered his friend Trevor's studio, Trevor was painting a beggar in rags. Answer. Entered, simple past, was painting. Past continuous. 2. Although he himself was badly in need, he felt that the beggar's need was greater than his own. Answer. Was, simple past, felt, simple past, was simple past. 3. When Trevor arrived, Huey felt slightly embarrassed at what he had done. Answer. Arrived, simple past, felt, simple past, had done, past perfect. 4. Huey asked Trevor if the painting was done and Trevor said that it had been framed. Answer. Asked, simple past, was done, past perfect in passive form, had, simple past, been framed, past perfect. 5. The beggar had asked all about Huey and Trevor had obliged him. Answer. Had asked, past perfect, had obliged, past perfect. 6. Trevor added that he had told the beggar about Laura, Huey's fiancée. Answer. Added, simple past, had told, past perfect. 7. The man, whom you call beggar is a very dear friend of mine. Answer. Call, simple present. Is, simple present. 8. On his way back home, Huey had no money left because he had given it to the beggar. Answer. Had, simple past, left, simple past, had given, past perfect. 9. With great curiosity, Huey read what was written on the envelope. Answer. Read, simple past, was written, past perfect in, passive form, 10. Millionaire models are rare enough, but model millionaires are rarer still. Answer. Are, simple past, are, simple past. G. Read the sentence from the passage and answer the questions that follow. Then Trevor arrived and Huey took leave of him, slightly embarrassed at what had done. 1. Where had Trevor gone? Answer. Trevor had gone to speak to the frame maker. 2. Why did Huey leave? Why was Huey embarrassed? Answer. Huey left because he was embarrassed at having given only £1 to the beggar, but that was all he had. H. Read the sentence from the passage and answer the questions that follow. A wedding present for Huey Erskine and Laura Merton from an old beggar. 1. What was the wedding present? Answer. The present was an envelope with a cheque for £10,000. 2. Why did an old beggar send them a wedding present? Answer. The old beggar was impressed with Huey's generosity in spite of his lack of money. The beggar was actually a very rich man.